Most hunters think a lever gun is just cowboy nostalgia. And honestly, that mistake cost them the whole point of the modern Marlin, because Ruger did not just bring this old warhorse back, they rebuilt the bones. Cold, hammer-forged barrels, tighter machining, threaded muzzles, slicker actions, and enough power to make a bolt gun guy stop talking.
Oh, got one of them. Missed another one.
So now the real question is simple. Which Marlin actually owns the deer woods, the bear trail, and the nasty brush when the weather turns mean? Number 5. The Marlin Dark Series. Look, this is the lever gun for the guy who does not care about walnut, old-school charm, or granddad's deer camp stories. This thing is built like a working truck with mud on the tires. Blacked out, threaded, modular, and ready to take a beating in the rain. It is available across the major Marlin families, including 1895, 336, and 1894 patterns, so the personality changes depending on the cartridge, but the mission stays the same: hard use utility. Under the hood, the big deal is the MLOK aluminum handguard. That matters because it lets you mount a light, sling, tripod adapter, or bipod without clamping junk directly onto the barrel or magazine tube. On a traditional lever gun, that kind of pressure can shift your point of impact. Here, the handguard gives you a more stable support system while keeping the rifle set up for real field work. The Dark Series also wears a threaded muzzle, a rail for optics, and weather-resistant coating. That means it is basically begging for a red dot, low-power scope, or suppressor. In thick hog country, bad weather, or night hunting setups, this thing makes a lot of sense. But here is the deal breaker. It loses the soul. The polymer stock and tactical furniture work, but they do not feel like a classic Marlin. The balance can also get front-heavy once you start bolting gear onto it. Before you know it, your slick little lever gun feels like a toolbox with a trigger. Still, for a modern survival lever gun, the Dark Series earns its place. It is tough, practical, and built for people who actually drag rifles through ugly country. Number 4. The Marlin 1894 series. Moving on, this is the little lever gun with a big attitude. The 1894 is not trying to be a bear-stopping cannon like the big 45-70 guns. It is the fast-handling pistol-caliber carbine that lives in the space between a trail rifle, a brush gun, and a range toy you accidentally fall in love with. It feeds on .44 Magnum, .357 Magnum, and now, in the newest Trapper setup, 10mm auto. That matters because pistol rounds wake up hard when you send them down range from a rifle barrel. A .44 Magnum out of a revolver is stout. Out of a carbine, it turns into a thumper. A .357 Magnum gets flatter, faster, and way more useful on small to medium game inside sane woods distances. Under the hood, the 1894 runs a shorter action with a square bolt design. That shorter stroke is the whole magic trick. Less travel, faster cycling, quicker follow-up shots. You work the lever, the carrier lifts the round, the bolt drives it home, and the gun stays compact and lively, instead of feeling like you are rowing a boat oar. Now, the deal breaker is performance range. These pistol bullets hit hard up close, but they are not sleek little missiles. Past about 100 yards, they start losing speed and dropping like a toolbox off a tailgate. The trigger can also feel heavier than it should, with that classic lever gun slop before the break. Still, this rifle is pure fun with a purpose. It is light, quick, low recoil, and perfect for thick cover. But wait until you see the monster at number 1, because that one does not just carry easy, it hits like it brought a sledgehammer to a fist fight. Number 3. The Marlin 1895 Trapper. Entering the elite tier, this is where the lever gun stops being polite. The Trapper is short, stainless, mean, and built for ugly country, where a long rifle turns into a fence post. Thick alder brush, wet timber, steep ridge lines, cramped blinds. This is the kind of rifle that makes sense when space is tight and the target window is measured in heartbeats. It eats 45-70 government for breakfast, and that cartridge is the whole personality of the gun. Big bullet, heavy push, serious terminal performance at close range. The 16.1-inch barrel keeps the overall length compact, so the rifle snaps to the shoulder fast and moves between trees without hanging up on every branch like a fishing rod in a closet. Under the hood, the important piece is the cold hammer-forged barrel and the threaded muzzle. The hammer forging process forms the rifling under serious pressure, leaving a tough bore with consistent grooves. That helps keep heavy 45-70 bullets stable. The threaded muzzle matters because this short barrel is one of the best Marlin hosts for a suppressor or brake. Add a can, and it still stays manageable. But here is the deal breaker: recoil. In a short carbine, full power 45-70 loads do not tap your shoulder. They shove it. The muzzle comes up hard, and if your stance is sloppy, this rifle will correct your attitude real quick. Still, the Trapper is a legit backcountry tool. Rugged and compact, it gives you big bore power in a package that actually carries well. It is not the softest shooter, but when the brush gets nasty, soft is not always what you need. Number 2. The Marlin 336 Classic. Closer to the crown, this is the rifle that smells like wet leaves, old flannel, and opening morning in a hardwood stand. The 336 Classic is not trying to look tactical. It is not wearing rails like body armor. It is the American deer rifle stripped back to what actually matters: balance, speed, reliability, and enough punch to put venison in the freezer. It slings .30-30 Winchester downrange, and that cartridge has earned more respect in the deer woods than most modern rounds will ever deserve. Inside 150 yards, it just works. Mild recoil, fast follow-up shots, and a trajectory that makes sense for real woods hunting. The kick is not an angry mule like the big 45-70 guns. It is more like a firm handshake from a guy who still changes his own oil. Looking at the mechanics, the solid top receiver with side ejection is the classic Marlin advantage. Instead of throwing brass straight up, it kicks cases out to the side, which lets you mount a scope low and clean over the bore. Pair that with Ruger's cold hammer-forged barrel, and you get better consistency than the old sloppy Dark days people still complain about. The trigger is not match grade, but when it breaks, it feels like snapping a thin cedar chip. Now, the deal breaker is value and capability. For what is supposed to be a simple deer rifle, the modern price can feel steep. And if you expect it to stretch like a bolt gun past 200 yards, you are asking the wrong tool to do the wrong job. Still, the 336 Classic is almost perfect for its lane. It carries easy, points naturally, and brings back the soul that bad factory years nearly buried. Number 1. The Marlin 1895 SBL. Here is the deal. This is the modern Marlin that actually takes the throne. Not because it is the prettiest, not because it is the most traditional, but because it gives you the widest spread of real-world capability. Big woods hunting, bad weather, bear country, heavy brush, optics, suppressor use, hard recoil control. The SBL is not a museum piece. It is a working rifle with teeth. It feeds on 45-70 government, and that round is the whole reason this rifle feels like a different animal. Inside realistic lever gun distance, It carries serious terminal performance, big bullet weight, deep penetration, and the kind of close-range authority that 30-30 Winchester simply cannot match. The 336 Classic is smoother for deer camp, no argument there. But when the animal gets bigger, tougher, or meaner, the SBL steps into a different weight class. Under the hood, this thing earns the crown with its cold, hammer-forged stainless barrel, side eject receiver, factory Picatinny rail, ghost ring sights, threaded muzzle, and nickel-plated spiral-fluted bolt. That bolt is not just jewelry. Stainless steel running on stainless steel can get sticky under pressure, dirt, and hard field use. The nickel plating helps the action glide cleaner, while the fluting gives debris somewhere to go instead of grinding inside the receiver. Compared to the 1895 Trapper, the SBL gives you the same big-bore punch, but with a little more barrel out front, better sighting flexibility, and a steadier feel when the rifle comes up. Compared to the Dark Series, it keeps the modern features without turning into a blacked-out accessory rack. And compared to the 1894, this is not just a fun carbine. This is the heavy hitter you grab when the woods stop feeling friendly. The recoil is real. Let's not pretend otherwise. Full power 45-70 loads will push back hard, like a truck door caught by the wind. But the weight, stock shape, and longer setup make it more shootable than the Trapper when you start sending serious hunting loads downrange. Honestly, this is the king because it balances everything: power, weather resistance, accuracy, optic support, suppressor readiness, and old-school lever gun soul. The 336 Classic owns the Deerwood's legacy. The Trapper owns the tight brush guide gun roll. But the 1895 SBL owns the whole damn table. So where does that leave us? The lever gun is not dead, not even close. It just changed uniforms. The Dark Series proves Marlin can play in the modern tactical world without begging for approval. The 1894 series keeps the pistol caliber carbine alive, quick, handy, and flat-out fun. The 1895 Trapper is the nasty little brush hammer you want when the trail gets tight and the country starts pushing back. Then you have the 336 Classic, the rifle that reminds everybody why 30-30 Winchester still owns deer camp after all these years. But the 1895 SBL is the one that takes the crown. It has the power of a serious big game rifle, the stainless toughness for bad weather, the optic-ready setup for modern hunters, and enough old Marlin soul to still feel like a lever gun instead of a science project. Look, you can buy nostalgia, you can buy horsepower, you can buy tactical furniture, but when one rifle gives you power, durability, accuracy, and real field versatility in the same package, that is the king. Train hard, stay safe, and I will see you downrange.